Hello and welcome to the daily study of the Way of Mastery. Today we continue with Lesson 2, You Create Your Experience, and Section 2, What You Perceive is Communicated Always. And we'll read 2 paragraphs here and then have a little bit of a commentary. Jeshua says, You do it with the raiment that you place upon the body. You do it with your gestures and the sound of your voice. You do it with the very culture and time frame in which you incarnate. You are constantly and only creating forms through which you communicate. Communication is the attempt to rest in communion with creation. What you are choosing to perceive, believe, and accept as true will be radiated through you, through your communication devices, which includes the body, that you might transfer your perceptions to another, that they might know who you are and which voice you are committed to. So this section is all about communication, and I actually went and looked up the root of communication, and here's what it says. The English word communication has been derived from the Latin word communicare, which means to impart or participate or to transmit. The word communicare is derived from the root communis, which means to make common or to share. So the 2 elements of that stood out to me was participating, that we are always communicating and we're creating forms through which to communicate, to which to participate in creation. That's what communication is. And the other part of it was to make common or to share, that we're wanting to share the experience of creation with other parts of creation, with other beings that have been created. So let's look at this first little paragraph. We do it with our gestures and the sound of our voice. We're always communicating something. You know, maybe it's not the content, but it's the context, the form underneath what we're saying. You do it with the very culture and time frame in which you incarnate, which is kind of neat because it implies that one, we maybe have incarnated more than once, and 2, that we choose the culture and the time frame, and that just that alone is an act of communication. That alone is saying something. So makes you wonder what this incarnation, what this culture and the time in which we've incarnated together here, why we're here. I mean, there's a mass awakening happening on the planet right now, people waking up to all kinds of truths and also revealing all kinds of misunderstandings, lies, falsehoods that a lot of our institutions have been built on. So it is an amazing time to be incarnate. And Jeshua says you're constantly and only creating forms through which you communicate. So think about that. If we are that's all we're doing, we're constantly doing it, and we're only creating forms through which you communicate. And we'll get into what does that mean? What does that mean? How am I communicating to the world with the clothes that I'm putting on, with the way that I drive, right? With the type of Instagram posts that I like or that I share. So we're always doing it, but we don't really realize that we're communicating to the world. And then in the second paragraph, communication is the attempt to rest in communion with creation. So let's try some of those other definitions and see how that fits. Communication is the attempt to rest in sharing with creation. Communication is the attempt to rest in participation with creation. It's a way that we participate in creation. And what you are choosing to perceive, there's that word choose again. Jeshua's always empowering us. It's always our choice. If you have listened to all these podcasts, or this is the only podcast that you listen to of mine, let this be the thing you take away. You are always choosing what you perceive, what you believe, and what you accept as true. And Jeshua says this will be radiated through you, through your communication devices, which includes the body, that you might transfer your perceptions to another, that they might know who you are and which voice you're committed to. Isn't that what so many of us want to just be known and be seen and just recognized as valid, as existing, as having something to offer? right? So many of us just want that. And that's what Jeshua is saying, that we're choosing to perceive, believe, and accept as true. What we choose, it will be communicated out. Again, how we dress, the language that we speak, the things that we communicate, the shows that we watch, the conversations that we have, it's all trying to communicate. And he says to transfer your perceptions to another that they might know who you are. So, hey, this is what I like. Let's talk about sports. The fact that I like to talk about sports is saying something about me. I'm trying to communicate something about me that you might see me, that you might know me. So just think about that as you go through your day, all of the things that we do unconsciously. Like, bring some awareness to it, bring some consciousness to us. Think about what am I like underneath the nod to a stranger, or the smile to a stranger? What am I trying to what was that trying to be communicated? Maybe just have some commonality of being, we're both human, we're both here. I see you, right? If you're complaining to someone, if you're just venting and complaining, what are you really communicating underneath what you're saying? So it's just another way to see what's happening inside of us and to take more just ownership of it. So we're going to dive in more tomorrow. Thanks for listening. I love you. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.